Hi, this is Francesca again, and this is my video response to Throne of Blood. Sorry. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of Shakespeare to begin with, so I wasn't super into the movie, but I do know that it was an old film and in a different language, and that made it hard for me to follow, despite the subtitles. My initial response to this film was that it was a little bit creepy, especially the prophet or evil spirit when he was singing in the Spiderweb's forest, which I realized was the intent of the scene to be creepy, but I was watching the film at night and I was kind of scared. I've actually never seen Macbeth, Shakespeare's Macbeth, so it was interesting to see that storyline and the way that Kurosawa portrayed it. It did make me want to watch Shakespeare's version and compare the two. Also, compared to the movies made now, the acting was kind of bad. It was sort of cheesy. Almost thought it was funny. I went into this assignment a little bit nervous because I tend to only like modern movies, and I was afraid Throne of Blood would be boring, but it really wasn't. Despite the film being in another language and the acting, it was a fun movie to watch, and I actually really got into it at the end. The title of the movie definitely portrayed the plot because Washizu, the main character, got the throne by killing the first Great Lord and then kept it by killing his best friend so that his best friend's son wouldn't get the throne. And then it was all like an irony because in the end everyone turned on him. Turned on him and killed him. And I enjoy symbolism, so that was kind of cool to like put it all together. 3 things I noticed in Throne of Blood that I noticed in the influence of No is how the flute and drums were played, how the kimonos were worn, and how the sleeping quarters of the Great Lord looked very familiar to a No stage. Every time something dramatic happened, the flute and drums would play like super fast. And for example, when Washizu's wife convinced him to kill the Great Lord so that he could become the Lord, the drumming and the flute became really intense, and that's kind of how I figured out that that was like an important cue to like listen and understand what's going on. And yeah, I really liked it because it helped me understand when something important happened. And it did that throughout like the movie when everything happened. That was just one instance of it. The second thing I noticed is that Washizu and his wife both wore kimonos, as did Miki and his son. And I thought that was interesting. But the film was in black and white, so I couldn't really tell you if the colors meant anything. I did know that in the reading, certain colors symbolized stuff. Also, Washizu's wife wore a robe or a brocade over her kimono, which mostly only women wear in No place. The third thing I noticed was that the sleeping quarters of the Great Lord, where most of the drama happened, really looked like the No stage with this and then the wood panels in the back, and it was really simple and there wasn't very many props, which I thought was interesting because in the Japan No documentary that you gave us to watch, it said that No stages look like that because they're more likely to encounter a spirit, which is what happened during the celebration. Washizu saw the evil spirit of the prophet and was all scared and freaking out, but no one else could see him, so it was his conscience kind of freaking out, I think, about what he had been doing, and he knew that it was wrong, but he kept doing it anyways because him and his wife were really greedy. And that was really fun. It was really fun watching the movie and being able to understand all those cues and stuff because I don't think I would have really understood the movie without knowing the background of No. Yeah, and it definitely made that more interesting. And I think that Kurosawa chose to use No as part of the storytelling because it made it more cultured and dramatic, and I also believe that he used No to help symbolize the evil spirit and to kind of give a moral to the story, like a lesson, and which I took the lesson to be like not to be so greedy and to like appreciate what you have. No helped the play to be dramatic because the chanting in the beginning, when they were chanting the song, it kind of foretold what was happening, and you kind of got like, oh. And then, yeah, it told the story of Spiderweb's castle, so you got a feel for the essence of the movie. And then the chanting at the end, after everyone turns on Washazoo and he dies, it kind of ties it all together because now he's like a lesson that everyone, like future generations, can learn from. And like I feel like that's really a Japanese culture thing. And then again, with the flute and the drums playing every time something dramatic happened, and you kind of knew that that was the climatic part of the story. I think No is the best option for the movie because it added an element to it that it certainly wouldn't have without No. And I can't really think of any other form of Japanese that would be as dramatic. I don't think Bunkaroo would work because it's a puppetry show. And it made it more powerful and meaningful, I think. And using No techniques definitely helped with the illusion, especially of the evil spirit, because the No stage represented like spiritual stuff. And I don't think I would watch this movie again if I had to be honest, only because I enjoy modern movies and then movies in English. But it was definitely very cool to watch another movie from another culture and to be able to understand what was going on. Anyways, that's my response, and see you later.